Can't you smell that? It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. Time for a good cup of Joe. There we go, folks. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Chopo here. Welcome to Cup of Joe. Well, I got my cup here. Today I was sort of wanting to clear up a few things. I don't know if you're noticing anything like regarding, the financial collapse. It's waning and just off stage. It's waiting for to enter stage right. The BRICS nations. The BRICS nations. I don't know whether you people are aware of that. The BRICS nations are basically 5 nations that started gold-backed currency, knowing that there's something wrong with the fiat system that we're currently using as a monetary policy. But the BRICS nations represent B, Brazil, R, Russia, I is India, C is China, and S is South Africa. Now, apparently, since those 5 originals signed on, there are like about 30 other nations that have signed on since. You don't hear it in the mainstream media, and it's all pretty hush-hush. But in my view, knowing that 209 nations signed on to the GESARA Act, those 200, the whole GESARA is pertaining to getting rid of this fiat system and replacing it with gold-backed currency. Okay? Now, these 5 nations that started, look at them. They represent 70% of the world trade. Russia, China, India. Now, come on, folks. The way I see it is those 209 nations that signed on to GESARA, no doubt, will be signing on to the BRICS nations because it's based on gold-backed currency. And GESARA, really, in my next episode, what I want to do is I want to go through, there's like 25 or 27 facts that are part of the GESARA agreement. Okay? And the most important ones are to get rid of the fiat system and to replace it with a gold-backed currency. That brings back prosperity to a nation rather than be controlled by a centralized banking system, which is the Rothschilds, the International Monetary Fund, whatever you want to call it, the World Economic Forum, Yeah. So get rid of the fiat, replace it with gold-backed currency, and then what it does is it goes back to constitutional law. And constitutional law is based on the law of the land, which is common law. Okay? And it recognizes whether it's contract or not. If it pertains to a contract, then it goes into that jurisdiction, commerce. But if it's not related to a contract, then it remains in the common law court system. Okay? Men, women, and children. Okay? And then there's a few other things. What it does is it gets rid of all debt. So any debt that we've had, whether it be a mortgage, a car loan, furniture loan, whatever, credit card, all that debt is all based on fraudulent contract system, which was the legal system. Okay? Because true contract, a lawful contract is written in what's called parse syntax. Parse syntax. Otherwise, what we've experienced, and according to David Wynn Miller, for the last 8,500 years now, I don't know what all compels or comprises of David Wynn Miller's 8,500 year history that he's looking at, but he's saying for 8,500 years there has been fraudulent contracts, all written in simple grammar. Okay? And if it's not written in parse syntax, the vocabulary and the words that you use, and whether you're using an adverb before a verb and all that, it all pertains to twisting fact and putting embellishments in there. And basically what David Wynn Miller calls it is a no contract, meaning to say that there's no person, or it does, the contract, whether it has a name there or not, the way it's written in simple grammar is there's no representative, and there is no chattel, or there is no property. Okay, it's a no contract, meaning it's not worth the paper it's written on. Okay, so what David Wynn Miller and Russell J. Gould, these two individuals, looked into our history and saw an opportunity, and we're going to discuss this, but it's pretty interesting because it involves the Postmaster General and the whole postal system in general, and what powers the postal system carries with it, all from the crown. Now, the reason why the United States of America and even Canada, okay, why people immigrated from a supposed system of civilized system, but they weren't civilized, they were tyrants. So what these people were willing to give up the comforts of, Europe at the time, and to come over here in North America and put up with the hardship to get away from the tyranny. Okay? And so why would they want to continue supporting the crown? No, they were trying to get away from it. So you can go into, the War of Independence, it's all coming to light. And system that of information, okay? We rely on the media. Well, the media is all part of that same construct that's brought in the legal system and brought in the banking system. They're not our friends. They're looking out for themselves. Oh, but they put on the big embellishment, and they have Hollywood, and they have professional sports, and they have all these reality shows and all these distractions to try and get you to look over there while they're doing this over here, But the mainstream media and all of it, okay, is all communications is based on a satellite system and cell towers and radio and television towers, satellite systems, okay, and that's the way they communicate. Well, that system is going to go through an upgrade. And really what's happened is our friend Elon Oh, somebody's out for a ride. So, our friend Elon, whether he's been compromised or whatever, but he's working with the White Hats now. And he acquired, we all know that he acquired Twitter and called it X, okay? He also has SpaceX. And he has SpaceX, and he also, who joined up with SpaceX? Well, did Trump not create the Space Force? Why did Trump create the Space Force? He created it because SpaceX, Starlink, okay, is a low altitude satellite system that has intercepted all communications from the deep state's communication satellite system, okay, and has captured it all. We've got it all. And Space Force has joined SpaceX. Space Force was brought in by Trump. Why? Because it was the part of the military that hadn't been infiltrated by the deep state, by black hats, okay? So he could start up Space Force using, in conjunction with SpaceX, using the low altitude satellite system to capture all the communication. That's what's happening, okay? Now that we've got all the proof, okay, we have everything. We have everything. There's no escaping this, okay? Now what happens is it's slowly being released in the mainstream media, and they're doing everything. They're hacking away as hard as they can at Trump to try and put him in jail and stop him from what he's bringing. But it's not only Trump. There's a global alliance. There's like, I think, 36 countries that have taken their white hat portions of the military and put them together to stop these deep state tyrants that are trying to take over the world, that are trying to kill everybody. Look at Agenda 2030, okay? Look at that stuff. Anyways, what's happening, what's coming, okay? And I think it's within the next couple of weeks. They're calling it, you may have heard the terms 3 days of darkness, and then you may have heard 10 days of darkness. Well, apparently 10 days of darkness is going to occur, and what it is going to be is it's not blocking out the sun. No. It's just the current communication system that everybody's using to get internet, to speak on their phones, or whatever, is all going to be shut down. And Starlink will capture the signal, and they will send out a 10-day EBS, so an emergency broadcast system. And what it's going to do is, within the 24-hour periods of each day, there's going to be 3 segments of 8 hours that's going to inform people what exactly is going on, what the truth is, what's been found. Okay, so the truth is coming out. 10 days of darkness. So you're not going to have access to anything related to current communications. Okay, so your bank and all that, we're not going to have access to our ATM right away. Okay? Now there may be 3 days where we can't, a portion of it 3 days where we can't have access, we're not going to have access to our ATMs, but be prepared. So get some food ahead, some water ahead, some money, cash on hand, okay? And toilet paper, right? But get fuel and get food, water, and be prepared. It's coming, okay? But it's all good. We need this. We need to go through this. Okay? Again, I'll say it's like the phoenix. The phoenix got to come to a full burn before it renews itself. And that's what's happening. We're going through a reformation where it's going to it's going to reform all the deformed legal system, the deformed justice system, the deformed monetary system, political system, everything has got to come to a burn and renew itself and be reformed so that we could, because it's all part of that GESERA, Global Economic Securities. Securities are gold, are assets, okay? Bonds, treasury, okay? That's securities. So Global Economic Securities and Reformation Act, okay? So the Reformation is the reformation of legal, going back to a lawful system that based on constitutional law. And I know a lot of people, proponents for common law, don't want anything to do with the Constitution. They say anything that man writes has, does not apply. And I agree, because the only laws that really apply to us are what were given to us by God, our Creator, because that is the basis, the foundation of all law, is He who creates the law. Okay? So if I'm designing something, I'm creating something, I know what made it come together. And you have to apply each part of that, otherwise it doesn't come together, right? So if I'm making a garden, okay, I'm going to make a garden here. I like tomatoes, so I'm going to plant maybe 4 plants of tomatoes. I'm going to have cucumbers. I'm going to have green beans, yellow beans. I'm going to have potatoes, onions, and I like the shallot, the green onions, But it's not my neighbor that's going to come and say, hey Joe, why don't you, I don't really like tomatoes, so can you remove the tomatoes and put watermelons? Because I don't like tomatoes. Well, you know what? I like watermelons, but I prefer my tomatoes. And I make tomato sauce out of it. I make tomato paste. So, no, it's not my neighbor who's going to dictate what's going in my garden. It's me. I'm the creator, right? So that applies at every level. And the legal system knows that they have no right to impede on a fellow man's rights. They do not have the right to trespass on my rights. But what do? They know the basis of law is He who creates. So what do? They create the person. There's an opportunity there. When a child is born, we'll make it appear that we want to keep a registry of all the people that are, present, so we can care for them. No. It's so they can create the person based on your birth certificate. And being that they are the creator of the person, now all they have to do is get you to believe that you're the person, and they have control over you. And that's what they've done. They've done it to all of us. And it's only those who have sort of come across the truth and dug into it a little bit further to get a total understanding. But that's what's happened. And now what we need to do as a collective, we all need to know that we are not the person, that we are the man, woman, or child, right? If we want to have glory, we have to take back our power. And our power is knowing that God gave us our rights, not our fellow man. Okay? Anyways, beautiful day. Let's get some more wood on this fire here. And how did you like B2 there in that intro? Hey, we're going to use that as a short, and that's going to be a sort of a little wake-up call. It'll be a little commercial I'm going to put out there, and we'll do one for each season. Okay. What a beautiful day. I can't believe this weather we're having. Hey, and look at this. My new shirt, my new hoodie from And We Know. That's LT. I don't know if you watch him, but you should. He's a great righteous patriot who's was a PR guy and public relations officer in the Marines, I believe. Nice guy, wonderful guy, beautiful family. He's got a wonderful channel, and we know. So check him out. And we know he's on Rumble. So check him out. He's got his own website. So andweknow.com. Andweknow.com. LT, wonderful guy. Each week we're going to try and try and promote all people putting out the good word. So we are currently in the year 2024, right? Did it ever dawn on you that, well, if we're in the year 2024, what happened 2024 years ago that we had to start at zero again? Well, what happened? Well, the last 2024 years or so, give or take 3 or 4 years, we've been in the age of Pisces. And Pisces, that's the fish, right? Our Christ, our Lord, Jesus of Nazareth, Yeshua ben Joseph, whatever you want to call him, was born at the beginning of the age of Pisces. Okay? Now that's the New Testament. And, well, what happened before that? Well, it basically the 2,000-year period that's the Old Testament. And the 2,000-year period, there was Abraham, and then there was Moses, right? Well, the age Moses, okay? The age of Moses. The age of Moses, he was known for the shofar, right? The ram. Aries, the age of Aries. That was the age before Pisces. Okay? Well, every 2,000, it's precession. I spoke about precession in the last video. And precession is, again, I'll explain it, okay? Precession, Earth rotates 360 degrees in 24 hours. That's one day. Earth also, while it's rotating like this every 24 hours, it's also orbiting the sun. And it takes 365 days for it to do a complete cycle, and that is a year, okay? Well, while it's doing those two movements, it's also like the top. You know a top toy? When you spin it, and then it has a wobble at the top? Well, Earth also is rotating in a reverse rotation at a rate of, okay, it does 360 degrees wobble, but the rate at which the wobble occurs is every degree of the 360 degrees takes 73 years. So 73 years times 360 degrees is 25,920 years. How does anybody know? There's an older history than what we've been told. Okay. Now that was, I don't know whether you know anything about Samaria, Mesopotamia, and the Sumerian tablets. The Sumerian tablets that were found at the Great Ziggurat of Ur. And it just so happens that, where did Abraham come from? So it's kind of interesting. There's a prehistory to what we've been told. And I don't know whether you've read Zechariah Sitchin's Earth Chronicles, 7 books that basically describe or translate those Sumerian tablets that were written in cuneiform. Cuneiform, some people call it. But it's all kind of interesting. There's what we've been told, okay, is over here, and whoa, all this is all history that, well, we don't see this. We only see that little portion that they told us, okay? What did they do? Make it up to try and go according to their agenda? I think so. You know, they got people dumbing down and entertained so that, you know, well, no, I don't like reading. You know, I could watch a video. I could go and watch Netflix. Well, Netflix, and that's just leading you deeper into the trap. So you need to, we need to wake up and smell the coffee. Okay, and that's why I called the show Cup of Joe. Okay, we all need to wake up and smell the coffee. Anyways, I got, there's a beautiful day here. I'm going to go for a walk. I might use my snowshoes. But anyways, folks, I'm noticing that I'm getting views, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the people that take the time and view. And please, I know I'm not the best speaker and I'm not the prettiest guy, and you know, but it's not about me. It's about getting this message out. I'm just trying to enlighten my fellow man and woman and child, you know, of what's coming. And I want people to be prepared, and I want them to benefit in every aspect of what's coming. And nothing can stop what's coming, okay? It's all part of God's plan. It's all happening, folks. It's coming, okay? So I want you to be prepared. I want you to start taking the mainstream media as the Word of God, because it's furthest from the Word of God. Okay, it's more like his opponent, the devil. Okay, the devil. Well, the 1,000 years that we just went through, you know, that we're just skimming out of, and we're going into 1,000 years of good. Everything in the universe is vibration and energy, right? And everything has polarity. So there's good, there's bad. It's never always, it doesn't stay always in the good. It doesn't stay always in the bad. It's in flux. It's constantly moving, okay? But where you focus your attention is what you'll manifest. So if you're focusing on the negative aspect, if you're focusing on what Netflix is shoving down your throat, or Disney, or the whole left agenda of transhumanism, of transgenderism, like the whole thing is all the devil. It represents the devil. Well, think about it, folks. Unless that's what you want to focus on, that's what you're going to manifest. But if you focus on God's word and the truth and the light and the way, that's what you'll manifest. And that's what I want to manifest for you. So I pray every morning. I take about an hour and I go through a book, a nice little daily that's written by Sarah Young, called Jesus Calling. It's a great little book that it's as if Yeshua's talking to you personally. And then there's, 3-4 passages to read that sort of hit that message home. And I find it's just such a great way to start off my day. It gets me off on the right foot. And so I really like it. My mom was the one that introduced me to Sarah Young and Jesus Calling. And so I bought one for myself. I bought one for my daughter. And my daughters. I really wish that people would go back to the Word and try to understand, okay? Now, it may have been twisted and turned, but it's based on a book of morals. It goes back to the Enuma Elish, and the Enuma Elish is one of those Sumerian clay tablets that were discovered, I believe, in like 1832 or something. So it's been a while. They've been there, and it took a while for people to be able to, They took Akkadian, they took the cuneiform. They take 2 or 3 languages and they were able to get it deciphered. And Graham Hancock has done it. Gerald Clark, who's no more with us, no longer with us. Gerald Clark wrote a good aspect of it, and he had he associated Jesus with Thoth, the Atlantean. Thoth was, and I believe it may be every 2,000 years this incarnated soul who goes back to Ningishita, the Anunnaki, who became Thoth, the Atlantean, and then when Atlantis was taken down, they moved into the land of Chem, which is Egypt. And Thoth is known as he was a wise man. The Greeks later on, when the Egyptian dynasty had come to an end, and the Alexander the Great conquered the known world at the time, he took that knowledge that Thoth had written something like 20,000 papaya, and Alexander the Great orchestrated, I believe it was in Heliopolis, part of right there on which would be the southeast shore of the Mediterranean, Heliopolis. He called it Alexandria, and he created a library, the Library of Alexandria. Alexander the Great wanted to retain that knowledge. But what happened? Whenever the next dynasty took over, which were the Romans, they had the Library of Alexandria burnt. Okay, I believe they acquired the knowledge, put it in the Vatican, Rome, right? Romans. And what they did was, then they burnt it, making, all that knowledge burnt, okay? Well, folks, it's time to take off the pink sunglasses and see things for what they are, okay? Anyways, folks, I noticed that we're getting views, and I'm happy with the views. I wish there were more views, but I need comments. I need to know what you're thinking. I know what I'm thinking. I want to know what you're thinking. Okay? That, and please subscribe. I want to wake up my fellow man, but I'm not going to be able to continue doing this if I'm not getting compensated for my time. Okay? So the only way I can get monetized here, I've got 90 days on YouTube. I've got 90 days to get 500 subscribers. Right now, I think I have 4 subscribers on YouTube and 2 subscribers on Rumble. And I also created a community on Locals, and what it is ascending to lawful communities, okay? And it's Joe Poe Patriot. But yeah, I want to get this word out, and I'd really like you people to put your, to like, share, and subscribe, please. And put your comments below. I want to know what you're thinking, okay? I love you all, and I really care about humanity and where we're going. And we're headed for greatness, okay? And part of the Hermetic principles, okay, part of the Hermetic principles are what you focus on, you manifest, okay? That's cause and effect. If you want a tomato plant to grow, you got to put a seed in. But if you plant the seed today, you're not going to harvest tomorrow. So you have, what's going on? So if you want to manifest that tomato plant, you're going to have to give it sun. You're going to have to give it water, possibly some nutrients, some good, nice, rich soil. And every day go out and check on it, right? Just because you're not going to harvest the following day doesn't mean that you forget about it. No, that's like our wishes and our prayers and our whatever you're focusing on is what you're going to manifest. So if you're experiencing despair and grief, and if that's what you're focusing on, you're just going to manifest more for yourself, and that's not what you want. What you want is to focus on have a positive aspect. And I would rather, if what I focus on, I understand the Hermetic principles that what I focus on, I'll manifest. So I choose to not focus on the negative aspect, but always look at the silver lining. Okay? And focus on the silver lining with prayers and petitions to God. And it'll come back to you, okay? So, thank you, folks. I love you. And God bless, okay? Take care, and we'll see you again. Bye now.